Okay, let's give you guys some more practice. So use trigonometric substitution to integrate this. Remember, this is a definite integral, so it's from 0 all the way to here. So press pause and have a go. Okay, so to integrate this, rewrite this thing here, rewrite to the power of 3 over 2 as, rewrite as this. So you've got something to the power of 3 over 2, rewrite it as to the power of a half, and then you cube it. And then to the power of a half is really the square root of something. So from here, rewrite it as to the power of a half, and then cube it, and then to the power of a half is really the square root. Okay, so now looking at this square root bit here, we can then use we can then create a triangle. So create your triangle in such a way that hang on. So create your right angle triangle in such a way that this complicated square root thing here is true. Okay, so if you make this to be 2x, and then if you make the adjacent to be 3, then the hypotenuse will have no choice but to be 4x squared plus 9. So this is your theta. So by creating this triangle, we can then substitute things back into here. Okay, so to integrate this, your eyes should zoom into this complicated square root bit here, and then create a triangle in such a way that that this is true. Okay, so you would then create this triangle, and then from this triangle, then this here is your tan. So tan the angle, whatever it may be, we don't care. So tan the angle is so this is your tan here. Tan the angle will be 2x over 3. So rearrange it to make x a subject. That will then give you this. Differentiate it, and then dx equals this thing here. Okay, and then on a separate occasion. So this is one thing. Now looking at the second thing. Looking at this thing, we ultimately want to replace this bit here. So let's use secant here. So secant theta will be hypotenuse divided by the adjacent. So from here, times both sides by 3, that will then give you this. So now notice that this complicated bit here, we can then put it into here. Well, so once you're here, looking at this, we can then put it into here now. We can then put it into here. Don't forget, later on we're going to have to cube it, and then your dx. So your dx here, which is this bit here, we can then put this into the dx, and then this to the power of 3 here, x to the power of 3. You would look at this thing here. Well, if x equals this thing here, then x to the power of 3 will be 27 over 8 tan to the power of 3 theta. So that would be x to the power of 3. So you would then put this into here. Okay, and then later on we would need to adjust these two, but we will sort this out later. Okay, so if you put everything into here, this whole thing here will then become this. Will then become this thing here. Okay, so later on we will need to make the adjustments here. We will adjust this later on, but let's just we will need to adjust this and this later on. But let's just try and tidy this thing up first. So hang on. So tidying this thing up. So now we are trying to tidy this thing up here. So visualize this as being one block multiplying another block, and then you've got this thing here multiplying with this. Let's just get this and multiply to the top. So merging these together will then give you this. Well, think about it. If you tidy this up, it will then take you to this step. Use whichever method you want. Just somehow tidy up, and then from here, I'm going to visualize it like this. Okay, so use whichever method you want, and then tidy up, and it should give you this. it should give you this. Okay, and then let me think, and then let me think. Oh yes, and then visualize this thing here as one block multiplying with another block here. Because if I were to give you this times this, you would multiply to the top. So that would then give you this. Well, visualize this thing here as this thing. Okay, and then let me think. Yeah, and then rewrite this thing here as well. Tan theta is really sine theta over cos theta. So tan cubed will be this cubed, this cubed. So this bit here will become this, and then this thing here will become this. Okay, and then now we need to now we are at this stage here. So this thing here is tidy this thing up, and it will give you this. Okay, because the cos will cancel out, and then this will be cos squared. That's the cos squared here. Well, this thing here will become this. So now we need to we now need to make the adjustments here, because earlier we were integrating with respect to x. So x will be from 0 all the way to here. But now we need to change. We need to make the adjustments here. We need to make the adjustment here. I will continue in the next video. Okay.